MD Prepper here. I'm going to give you guys an update on the current configuration of my woods carry and everyday carry firearm. Back in the day, I posted a video about what type of woods gun am I going to need to carry out here on my new property. And it was pretty much between a 44 Magnum revolver and a Glock 10mm. Obviously, I went with Glock 10mm, and I'm loving it. Absolutely fantastic firearm. Couldn't ask for more. Fortunately, I've not had to take anything out with it yet, but there have been a few instances where I almost did. Let me go ahead and break this thing down, show you the upgrades and additions I've made to this and why I like it, the reasons behind that. This is safety checked, obviously, for you safety Sallies out there. This is a Glock 10mm SF. The short frame is what that stands for. It means that they've taken a few millimeters off the sides of this thing on the grip. Makes it a little easier to handle for your average guy. I've got average size hands, and the standard full-size Glock frame is just a little big for me. I can handle it, had one, but it's just not as comfortable as the SF. I would definitely prefer the SF if I was going to get something else in a full-size Glock frame, if you've got average size hands and certainly smaller size hands. So there's that. Now they do make this in a compensated version. This is obviously not one of them. They do not make a compensated SF. You have to either get the full-size frame with the compensator on the top built in. I didn't want that. I thought about it, but honestly, I realized that I was going to be carrying this thing out back in the dark a lot, and I wouldn't want to deal with that muzzle flash after the first round blinding me and all that. Glad I didn't get that, especially last night. I had to draw this thing in the backyard after dark. Took my dogs out to do their business, and there was something out there on the ridgeline. Saw it, at least saw its back running across the top of the ridgeline, and it stayed around. I could hear it moving around out in the leaves and all. Don't think it was a prey species, something like a deer or turkey. They tend to disappear. It was either a stray dog or a coyote, or if rumors should be believed here, maybe a mountain lion. I doubt that, but whatever. Anyway, glad I had this thing without the compensator in those dark conditions. So there's that. Now, other additions I've made to this. First thing I added was a Lone Wolf 10mm drop-in barrel. A lot of people say, oh, well, you don't need the aftermarket barrels and all that nonsense. Just stick with a standard Glock barrel. Well, for what I need it for, I do need this. I do need the upgraded barrel. The upgraded barrel is a traditional rifling. The standard Glock barrel is polygonal rifling. And the problem you run into is if you're shooting hard cast lead bullets like this one, if you're going to stop big prey and stuff like that, you're going to lead the barrel with a standard Glock barrel. Those polygonal barrels are meant for full metal jacket rounds and plated rounds, that type of stuff. I did actually fire this with the standard Glock barrel, the original, with some lead bullets, and wow, accuracy falls off super fast. Absolutely amazing how quick the barrel leads up. Now, will that matter necessarily in a short fought battle versus a bear or a boar? Well, maybe not, but cleaning the darn thing was a pain afterwards. So for $100, I don't have to worry about that. I think this barrel is more accurate overall. Those out there may disagree. That cost me about $100. I don't regret it. Now, I did buy another drop-in barrel, which I don't have here, but it's also Lone Wolf. It's the 10-40 conversion. Allows me to drop out the barrel without changing out mags or anything, fire 40 Smith & Wesson. Cheaper to shoot, fun practice. If I need it for personal defense and all that versus two-legged varmints, that's going to do the job much better, or at least just as well, and not too much over penetration compared to the standard 10mm. And again, it's just a good idea for an extra $100. I've saved on ammo cost, quite frankly, because 10mm is a little pricey. Just about to start reloading that, but haven't yet. And what else have I done to this thing? I did add a different slide release right there. This is the little ghost bullet button there. I like that. I tried out a few others that I've traded out. I do not recommend dropping the slide with the slide release. You need to rack the slide, but for putting this thing in open position, it's easier to hit. It's just easier to thumb up and lock the slide back for me. Didn't cost me a whole lot, so not necessary, but I liked it. I did put in a 3.5 pound connector in here to loosen the trigger up a little bit, lighten it up. It didn't make that big of a difference in this full size. I took my 29 baby 10mm Glock and put it in that eventually, because it just didn't make that big of a difference. It did in the 29, but I'll review that later. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Let's see. What else did I do? Added a metal slide stop there. That's tungsten, which is much heavier than the steel, and that was quite a bit pricey, but Glock store did promise it would cut down on recoil, at least felt recoil and muzzle rise. It does, actually, especially with the high-end loads. Now, for the wimpy little 40 loads and all that, or similar loads for 10, it didn't make that big of a difference. For the big 220 grain hard cast lead bullets, it made a big difference, I thought. It was worth the extra cost. It was $60 to $80, I think, so that's a bit of a luxury, but for something I carry every day, I thought it was worth it. So, there's that. Now, what else did I do with this? My favorite upgrade on this thing are the sights. These are True Glow fiber optic and tritium sights. Okay, they've got the tritium in there and they've got fiber optic sights backing it up. There's the fiber optic, and obviously the tritium is in there. Now, that works stellar, especially if you're transitioning and don't know when you need to shoot at night or in daylight conditions. One of my chickens got attacked, my last chicken got attacked in the middle of the night quite some time ago. I heard it squawking. Possum got it. But I came out the door in the pitch dark and tritium kicked in. Fantastic sight picture, very quick acquisition, did the job well. And then I moved in searching around. I've got a big spotlight, post lamp if you will, out back. And once I moved in there, the high-vis fiber optics kicked in flawlessly, just instant transition. You can always see what you're shooting at with this. These sights are a little pricey. I think they ran me about $80. Well worth it for a general purpose carry gun, especially for the Glock format. Love it. Absolutely love it. Worth the 80 bucks. Last 10, 12 years or so. And for something I carry every single day, do the price on that, you know, pennies per day, well worth it. For a range toy, no. Or for a plinker or something you're just playing around with, definitely not worth it. But for something you're going to use day in, day out, night or dark, this upgrade was worth it. Definitely worth it. And I did think about adding some of the laser grips on it. I thought against that after I got used to these sights, because that's just one other thing to have to think about and worry about and slow down my shots. I can see just fine with these True Glow fiber optic / tritium sights. So I just thought that would be just extra money on this thing that isn't worth it. Got to worry about the batteries and all that mess. So didn't go there. So what else about this? I did add a little personal plate here on the back. If you see that right there, hopefully that'll show up. I think I showed that before. That is a modern interpretation of the Fort Moultrie flag from Battle of Fort Moultrie during the Revolution. Just a personal touch, being a South Carolinian. I just like that. If you notice my logo, my avatar there picture is the same, so just kind of completes the picture. That was 20, 25 bucks. Not necessary, but fun. Another reason I picked the Glock 10mm versus the 44 is the ammo capacity. I've got 5 or 6 shots in the revolver before I have to reload. I've got 15 rounds plus 1, so 16 originally, with backup, an extra magazine. 31 rounds of kick butt in 10mm. Now, some people have complained and commented on my woods gun video, well, if you run into a grizzly bear or Kodiak or something like that, 10mm is not as good as a 44. I don't live in Alaska. I live in South Carolina. 10mm will do more than the job for anything I'm going to run against. I bought this primarily for bear and boar. There is a bear on the property from time to time. Wild boar and wild hogs are all over the place. Honestly, the #1 threat out here is probably coyotes as far as your wildlife and stock, livestock. This is overkill for a coyote, but I'd rather overkill it. Okay, I'd rather have enough gun. Have too much gun than not enough. 15 plus 1 plus an extra mag, good to go. So 31 rounds of kick butt. Now what I tend to do is I carry one magazine fully loaded with the hard cast lead bullets. I keep that in the gun with one in the pipe right there. That's the way I carry it because I'm assuming the worst, which maybe I shouldn't, but I do. If I want to run into something and I'm going to run something nasty, I'd rather be able to hit it too hard than not hard enough. A bear, something like that, again, big hog, something, I need the penetration. My second magazine of 15 is hollow point ammo, okay? This is for two-legged varmints or other things like that. It's going to do the job. I can switch out quickly. If I've got the time, if there's somebody sneaking around on my property and I'm down in the woods and I'm worried, I can always drop this magazine, put this one in quickly and easily. Now I've got my first one, a hard cast, but second shot, I'm firing hollow point, so good to go, at least from that perspective. I thought about adding a light and all that. Again, just not worth the effort, not worth one more thing to mess with these sights. Now, the biggest investment, I guess, or expenditure that I made with this set, this loadout, was the holster. This is a Diamond D custom Guide's Choice holster. Absolutely the best holster I've ever owned. It cost me about $200 overall. It's custom built and all up in Wasilla, Alaska, home of Sarah Palin, etc. Absolutely amazing. Nice, good grade leather here. Slaps over your shoulder, really nice, and the way it cinches up, it puts the weight around you in your midsection or your upper chest. I carry this every single day, and I've never had the slightest bit of shoulder or back pain from carrying this thing. I did have, initially while I was waiting on this, a Black Hawk holster, Serpa, just for the paddle holster on the hip. This thing's big, it's heavy, and depending on the pants I'm wearing, sometimes it tends to pull those down, and last thing I want fighting a bear of boar is for my pants to fall down around my ankles as I'm trying to grab my gun. So this does the job. It slips on real fast, it snaps in real quick with a little clasp here. You just throw it over your shoulder on the left side, reach around, snap it into place, you're good to go. Cinch it up if you need to, or uncinch it, depending on you got a jacket or clothing, something like that. It does really well. This is looking nice and pretty with its age on it, over a year and a half old or so, something like that. I paid a little extra for an extra magazine pouch up here on my left shoulder. Well worth it. Gives me an extra 15 rounds. And again, you don't feel the weight. This is where I keep the hollow points for quick access. Now, best thing about this holster setup is it is very easy to draw one-handed. I've done that several times out in the woods with some potentially bad situations. I was walking through the woods, this over, attached, and I had a fishing rod and some other gear in my left hand, a mistake I won't make again, and this is the fall of last year, and something came running through the brush fast, headed straight for me, sounded pretty big, obviously freaked me out a little bit. Should have dropped the gear in my hand, I didn't, again, a mistake I won't make again. Drew this thing easily, snapped it off, drew the pistol, spun around, and there was about a 60-pound dog that was bounding out of the brush towards me. I think it was a stray. I've never seen the dog again. Don't think it was a neighbor's dog, because I know the neighbor's dogs and the adjoining properties. Maybe a visitor's dog at another, a friend's place. I don't know. But spun around with this thing, got on sight real quick with these sights as the daylight was fading, said stop, and the dog either knew what stop meant or realized what the muzzle of a firearm meant, and he backed the heck off. Wagging his tail and all, looked friendly enough, but I wasn't taking a chance. So, easy to deploy one-handed. It's not flopping around on you. It's good and secure. You're going to snap it open, pull the weapon. It's easy to holster and snap back down closed again. Good to go. Fantastic choice for $200. I would strongly recommend this to anybody who's looking for woods carry. Now, another bonus of this is that it puts it in the center of your body. Okay, one thing I found with that hip carry gun holster for this is that you snag brush and you snag things as you're going through the woods and underbrush and whatnot. Scrape up your gun, catch on things. Pain in the butt, quite frankly, to have a hip-mounted full-size pistol out in the woods. Just a pain. Also hurt your back if you carry it too long, carrying yourself one way or the other. So keeps this in the center of your body, in the center of your chest. As you're going through the woods, you're not going to scrape it up. You're not going to catch it on things typically. Works very, very well overall. Again, this leather's nice and supple. I just can't say enough good things about it. So, $200. Took a while to get it once I ordered it. Well worth it. Would happily order one for a full-size revolver or any other firearm I'm carrying in the woods every day. So, these are my thoughts. No other plans to upgrade it at this stage. Can't think of anything else I'll need for it. They do make other drop-in barrels for 9x25 Dillon and 357 SIG, but I don't need those. The 40 caliber barrel and the drop-in Lone Wolf traditional barrel does the job for me. Great handgun, highly recommend it here in the Southeast or anywhere where you don't have to deal with anything grizzly bear size and all. Great gun, very accurate. Recoil's not as bad as you think it would be. If you think it's bad, shoot some more. You'll get used to it. So, I welcome your thoughts and comments. If you've got any other ideas for an upgrade for this thing, throw something my way. MD Prepper out.